everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Artisan Pirate here, and in today's fun scroll saw project video, have another amazing design by Steve Good, and it's another Halloween design. We are in that spooky season. I've already got all the pattern printed out and attached to our material with clear packing tape, and you can tell here that we're going to be cutting through several thicknesses of material here. So really neat. The design in question is going to be a nice spooky Halloween tombstone that'll look great on a desk or countertop. Here is the tombstone itself. It's got the classic RIP letters at the top for rest in peace, and it looks like it has been weathered and damaged through time. The tombstone itself is going to have some decorative arches at the top, and that is what this piece here is. And this is going to be 1/2 inch material. The tombstone itself is 3/4 inch material. There's going to be some decorative bats, and we'll stack cut 2 of these out of 1/4 inch material. And then the standout feature at the bottom of the tombstone is going to be a Halloween skeleton with hands looking like it's kind of clawing out from underneath and trying to escape for the Halloween season. But really neat, and this will be 1/2 inch material. We're going to paint this as well as stain it, and it's going to finish up amazingly well. As with all multi-part projects like this, I've got a picture of the finished project saved to my phone that was on Steve's blog post. But really cool. Since everything is prepared, let's move the camera over to the workbench, get some pilot holes drilled so we can get this spooky project started. Let's go. And over here on the workbench, we're going to take the Seiko scroller's drill and drill out all of the pilot holes for internal cutting. And you'll see the backer board behind the material to prevent blowout of the pilot holes on the reverse side. Over here at the scroll saw, I am using a number 5 Ultra reverse tooth blade for all of the scrolling in this project, and it will cut through all the thicknesses of material we are scrolling exceptionally well with minimal chip out. Beginning here with the archway that goes on top of the tombstone for a little bit of depth, and it is 3/4 inch pine. And I'll do all of the internal cutting before proceeding to doing the final outside cuts of every piece. The body of the tombstone here is also 3/4 inch pine. And I'm cutting out those iconic letters that are associated with a headstone, the rest in peace. And I find cemeteries oddly relaxing. I ride my bike through them. If I'm in a new area or town and I see a historic cemetery, I always pull over just to explore a little bit, because you never know who of note might be buried in a local cemetery. Cutting out the centerpiece here, which is the skull with the hands on either side like he's clawing out of the grave. And I don't know what this 1/2 inch material is, but I've had it for a while and it scrolls exceptionally well. And we're still using that same blade. If you guys would like to try this pattern, it's available as a free pattern download over at Steve Good's scrollsawworkshop.blogspot.com website over in his free pattern catalog. This is the most tedious piece that we are cutting out here, and I think this piece could be a standalone piece where you could enlarge it and cut it out and place it in a windowsill. And even if you're comfortable with a jigsaw, you could really enlarge it and make it a nice yard decor piece for Halloween. If you guys like what you're seeing, I would highly encourage you to subscribe to my channel and also follow me across all my social medias under the Artisan Pirate name. I'd really appreciate the support. And now we're scrolling out the 2 bats. We are stack cutting those out of 1/4 inch material. And now we are releasing the little archway that goes on top of the tombstone. And then we will release the tombstone itself. And if you guys like the new camera angles I'm trying out, please let me know down in the comments, and I'll try to incorporate them in future videos that I produce. But once all the scroll work here is done, it's time to go to the workbench and remove the paper and the pieces from the waste wood, and we can start to get a visual of what everything is going to look like. And now it will be time for sanding with 180 grit cling spore sandpaper in the vibrating palm sander here, and I'm sanding front and back with small circular motions. And now it will be time to glue the arch on top of the tombstone with some medium grade CA glue and activator. And I'll still use clamps just to make sure everything grabs properly. And after it sets up around 5 minutes, it's time to start adding some color to all the pieces. And I stained the tombstone itself with Minwax wood stain, and I used a sponge brush to make sure everything was saturated, and I wiped off all the excess with a piece of t-shirt material and hung it on a wire to dry. And while it was drying, I spray painted the skeleton piece a bright white color, and all the spray paints I'm using is the Rust-Oleum brand. And I done the bats, of course, black, and all painting got several coats. I just kept going back and adding coats to it till everything was covered. But after everything dried, it was time for final assembly, and I have a picture of the completed piece on my phone that Steve offers. And once everything is glued, I'll again set it aside for around 5 minutes to make sure all of the glue has cured. And then for finished, we gave it several coats of Rust-Oleum clear gloss, and the project was complete. And here we have the completed Halloween tombstone, cut out completely on the scroll saw with some amazing and spooky effects on it. Really, really neat. He finished up amazingly well. Thank you, Steve Good, for another fantastic pattern from your pattern catalog. I really appreciate the amazing Halloween designs you come up with. It took me around 30 minutes to scroll everything out, and we used a variety of thicknesses of material, and because of the thickness of the two pieces on the base of it, it can easily freestand on a desk, countertop, or even sit up in a windowsill with maybe a light behind it for a nice spooky vibe. Really, really cool. The most scrolling time I had in this whole project was cutting out the actual skull and his hands here like he's clawing his way out from underneath the dirt and everything. And I just took my time and let the blade do the work. Of course, the fingers here are very fragile. And I think a scroll saw project like this lends itself to a variety of uses, especially the pattern of the skull and the hands. You could enlarge this project and maybe cut it out of a jigsaw and put it out in the front yard. If you just wanted to do a couple tombstones, you could just take the tombstone portion of the pattern and cut those out and display them however you wanted. But a lot of unique uses for this. I spray painted the skull and the hands a nice white color, the bats black, and I used Minwax wood stain on the tombstone and the arch here itself, and everything came together great. And the Rust-Oleum clear gloss we added at the end really made everything pop. And I hope you guys can tell that I'm really getting excited for Halloween, where I get to dress up as the pirate and go out in the community to fall festivals and Halloween events and put smiles on faces. But really, really cool. I had a lot of fun in this project, and I hope you guys like watching me make it, and I hope you guys might have picked up a tip or tidbit along the way, and I hope this encourages you to go out and try this pattern as well. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel and also follow me across all my social medias under the Artisan Pirate name. As always, links to contact me as well as all my social medias will always be linked down in the description box below these videos. That's about all for this one, and remember guys, if I can make it or do it, so can you. I'm the Artisan Pirate. Take care, and I'll see you guys real soon.